We get a little countdown. Do you like this new setup?
Professional, isn't it?
There we go. No, it looks like we should be live now. Hopefully, I'm gonna unlink this. I'm gonna pop the chat out so I can move it into the other screen and then see it. Pretend that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, look professional at least.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, look here.
Oh no, I've lost the chat now. Honestly, it's been fun trying to set this up. Hello to everyone. Somebody just drop us a message in the chat if you can see us, hear us. Everything seems to be working fine. Nothing yet. Hopefully it will. Anybody?
There you go, Sophie. See and hear you loud and clear.
Oh, how come you've got that? I don't have that.
This must be private for me. She doesn't want you to see it.
Is how it is. Just for you. Oh no, okay, so that's come to this chat, isn't it? I was looking at the YouTube one. Trying to do two things at once. Yeah, so it looks like it's all working. Everything's working on the YouTube side. Perfect. Honestly, Lloyd, it's been a nightmare me trying to set this up. I am not the most technically able person in the world. So we've all seen that meme of Zach Galifianakis where he's in the casino and hangover, like doing the Rain Man, trying to figure out how to count cards. And that was me setting all this up. It's something different.
Have you only just set up your little studio thing today, have you? Or?
Well, I test ran this the other day, but you never know if it's going to work until people are actually watching.
So you've been stressing out, getting everything all ready, and all I've done is whack on a pair of Xbox headphones and bam!
That's it, and you're here. Yeah, no, it's just something different for me. Like this isn't it's not my world. So you have to like start a YouTube live stream and then kind of link it across to we use Riverside to record, and don't know whether it's going to work. You can't see yourself until you start recording. So then I get really paranoid when I record myself.
You look gorgeous, don't worry.
I know, and that's a nice T-shirt you've got on there, representing one of the charity T-shirts that we did.
Love this shit.
It's nice, isn't it? So, what have you been up to? Anything much?
Not really. I've just been getting the second floor as ready as I can. So I have my little boxing room with some cardio equipment, trying to get that all ready so I can have a nice little 2-floor gym so that when I do my Halloween event, it looks good, but ish.
When you do the Halloween event?
When? It won't be on Halloween, but when it happens.
So, yeah, unfortunately.
Did I tell you that I had the council contact me to tell me that
you did? Yeah. Lovely lady Corona has stepped in and fucked everything up, I guess.
Postponed.
Yeah, so is that what you're going to do? Just postpone it back a little bit?
That's all I can do. It's one of them where all the money from the ticket sales, it doesn't just go in my pocket to go on the piss or anything. It all went into getting it ready for the tournament. Yeah. So if people need a refund and happy days, I'll refund them gladly. I'm not just going to say no and fuck off to Iceland.
Hey. Don't be throwing shade here, yeah.
No shade, man. No shade. So if someone needs a refund, say when the event gets postponed and it has to be done then, if they can't make it to the rescheduled date, then I'll just refund them or whatnot. There's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody watching that doesn't know, Lloyd puts on the most epic Halloween party in the history of the world. Every Halloween, he has an axe throwing tournament. Everybody gets dressed up in some pretty awesome costumes. What was yours last year?
Kratos.
Shaved your head?
Shaved my head. I was going to go topless, but it ended up being a bit too cold. So
cold or out of shape?
Kratos. Yeah, both really. Both.
Yeah, so
I'll go with cold.
Unfortunately, it's been postponed this time. Yeah, you can come. He sells tickets. Obviously, it's been postponed, but I'm sure when it's back up and running, Lloyd advertises tickets on his Instagram. I think you saw. Did you sell them all out this year?
No, there was 100 tickets available, and I sold 80. So
Okay.
there are still some left, but again,
are you? I mean, I was thinking this the other day actually because I had such a good Halloween costume planned. When we do get to do it, can we still do fancy dress?
Yeah, that's the aim. Because I mean, there was prizes for best dressed and everything. So even if it happens in fucking Valentine's Day, that's the next big event that I was trying to think to do, like a Valentine's Day one. I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
Good that.
There we go.
So,
Trademark that.
Yeah, I will.
Trademark it. Someone will take it.
I know the fucker will. But, whenever it is, I'll still do like a fancy dress. I don't know if people want to do it. It's just such a shame. I think a lot of people needed this event to happen because everything going on. So it's just a shame.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, I was definitely looking forward to it. It's always a good time with friends, and who doesn't love a good fancy dress?
Mm.
So yeah, it's disappointing, but we'll get there.
There's worse things happening, so but
that's it.
It's just one of them.
You can't
the casualty of the Rona.
That's it. Well, there seems to be a lot of things going. Shelley, you said you had your costume prepped. What would it be? I mean, part of me, I really want to say what I was going to do, but part of me wants to keep it secret because I was really looking forward to doing it. So
I wasn't sure whether to go. I was going to go with Papa Smurf, but I thought it would be too cold for that.
I think you do a good Papa Smurf.
But if it gets postponed till like whenever this goes off, maybe it happens in the summer, then it'll be ideal.
There you go. Paint yourself blue.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of grey dye in the beard.
That's it.
I could see it. You make a nice.
I'm quite excited about it, but I mean, not too excited, but you know.
No, I'm excited about it. So me and Sarah had a team one because we were going to be that couple that comes as a joint fancy dress. Those people, those ones that come as a joint. You know the type.
Yeah. But it'll still happen.
Hopefully we'll get that.
Guaranteed.
So I mean, we created this episode under the illusion that we were going to talk about last week. Well, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago when we were in Scotland, and we just decided to fuck off and try and lift some stones with very little preparation. We just thought it looked cool.
Well, we did some. I did some preparation.
I did.
You did.
I did like a day's preparation before we went and tore my wrists up.
That was literally. I think it was the day before, wasn't it?
We came to you on Sunday and then we went on Thursday. So I wounded myself before we went, but struggled through like a true warrior.
As much as I trained up for doing it, I still felt unprepared.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah, I mean, it was harder than I expected with some of them. It's just the smoothness of them. The first one that we went to, the Pewterak stone, which was the one with the ledge that happened to be in somebody's garden, and we just kind of turn up and start trailing down.
Showing off our dicks.
Yeah, well, that was it. Yeah, me and you, we decided we'd wear kilts and go the true Scottish. So for anybody that doesn't know what a true Scotsman is, a kilt is basically it's a kilt with no underwear underneath. So me and Lloyd thought it would be a good thing to do until you actually lift a stone and you have to kind of like rest it on your lap and then go from the lap and kind of roll your arms up and pick it to your chest. And you can imagine as the stone sticks to the kilt, what happens. And yeah, it was, I think there's a few videos on your phone of both of us.
Showing off a lot more to the Scottish countryside than we would have liked.
What did you say that yours retracted inside of you?
Bringing that up?
Well, you said it. You put it out into the world.
I merely pointed out that when you lift a stone, everything kind of clenches up and pulls in.
Sucks inside.
Yeah. But it's not normally like that.
Not on a good day. It was cold as well. It was a cold, wet day.
It was. It's not a video I'll be showing anyone. Put it that way.
Oh, we had front row.
Yeah.
The front row seats. So
it's the guy whose garden it was.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah.
Bless. I mean, to be fair, that first stone was it worried me to start with because it was quite slippy, and you picked it up straight away, and I think you two kind of made it wet for me. So it was really slippy.
Scott lifted it on the stone and then brought it over the other way, didn't he? Into the mud.
Yeah. And I was really struggling with the first one, and it was kind of because I think with stones, once you get a good grip or figure out a good way to lift it, then you're okay. But until you crack that kind of the right holds, it can really get in your head. And seeing you two do it, and it being the first stone of the trip, I was kind of like, oh fuck, this is one of the lightest ones. What if I don't get it? What if I can't get it? And then you start beating yourself up.
Yeah.
So we all managed to get it. There was a nice, there's a nice little plaque where a nice little what's it called, a lift and lay.
Yeah.
So lift and lay stone is where you have a platform. So you pick the stone from the ground, and the aim is to lift it up onto the platform. So they were all different weights. The first one, was it 97 kilos, the Pute Rack, or 94?
It was one of them where there's a few different people saying different weights, but it's around and thereabouts.
Just under 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Which in theory doesn't sound a lot, but it is a lot when it comes to picking it up. It's a stone and not like a nice deadlift barbell.
You only ever really appreciate or understand it when you've tried it and you think, that's fucking heavy, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of people who will try the Atlas stones in the gym, and it instantly humbles them, where they think, I can deadlift 170. Why can't I pick up a 80 kilogram stone?
It's just a stone.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of people like querying you on it, just being like, why?
No, I got all the shit. I got all the grief.
Well, but I mean in real life, not in your.
So it's funny little stories. Me and Lloyd, we both posted pictures onto our you onto your business page and me onto my private Instagram of lifting the stones. Lloyd got all the praise from everybody, how amazing he was, and for some reason, I think like I don't know who saw it, maybe a traditional stone lifting person wasn't happy with how I put it down, and I just got a whole barrage of shit of like, you don't respect the stones, you didn't put it down properly. And yeah, it was quite funny how on one hand you got all this love and I just got all the hate and the abuse.
I'm a lovable guy, that's all.
And we both did the same thing with the stone.
And like I said, it was more like they was like having a go at you for putting it down, because as opposed to like caressing it down to the ground, which no one's done.
Yeah.
I've watched people lift that stone a lot, and not one, but even the most traditional stone lifters, you get it to that height, it takes that much out of you, you've got to bring it down. Obviously, you're not going to slam dunk it or nothing, but for some reason, everyone hated on you for doing it. Said how disrespectful you were to the stones.
And it was so yeah. I mean, after that one, we went to the testing stone of Fianna, which I have to say is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to pick up in my entire life. It was I think I left a little part of me there.
Well, we all did. Like I said, the hardest part about that was, how heavy was that one? 130.
Yeah, about 100. Some say 127 kilos. Some say 130.
And that's because it's meant to be shaped like a human phallus. So it was like the center of gravity of it was well off, and so it was just like there was tactics to picking it up. And that was the best thing about it. I thought, like, how we had to look at it for a good hour, thinking, how the fuck did you pick that up?
To be fair, that stone looked like what I saw when you picked the first stone up, when you kilt lifted. That's
on a more pebble scale.
Just a very similar shape. So yeah, all the stones have different names. Some of them date back, 500 years. The traditional sort of manhood stones. It's kind of where you would have like clan meetings, and when you get to the age of between 16 and maybe like 21, 22, something like that, you would come and you would try to pick these stones up. If you did it successfully, you became a man. If not, then you would have to wait maybe another year and train and come back and hopefully get your manhood. So,
do you remember the one, the putting stone?
Which one's that?
The one in the graveyard.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah. Was that used for a clan one? I can't remember, or was it just?
Oh, that was the one that was the weight for the coffin. Yeah, you know the story about that. You can.
I know about how it was to the coffin, but I wasn't sure whether it was also used.
I think it was. I'm not sure. I think it was probably just used for the coffin. But feel free to tell the story of the coffin, since we were all.
I didn't know if you wanted to do the stones in order that we did them, or I just jumped right ahead to the last one.
Oh, we can. Yeah, no, we'll go in order. We'll go in order. So back to the testing stone of Fianna. This is a 127 kilo stone, and it was an odd shape, and the grips were terrible. I think there was a few times where I tried to pick it up and got it a couple of inches off the ground, and then kind of thought, fuck this, I'm probably not going to be able to do it. And then, you'd have a little bit of a rest, you'd have a go, Scott had a go. I think Scott was the first to pick it up.
I think he picked it up right away, didn't he?
Yeah. Put the pressure on us.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think if he hadn't picked it up straight away and got it up, me and you may have quit and said, we're not going to do it. But because we saw him do it, we were kind of like, this is the second stone of the tour. We all need to try and get it. And it took some time. Scott
did it, and then convinced us that the way he did it was different to how he did it. And it was only afterwards he was like, "Oh yeah, I did it like that." Like,
actually, yeah, maybe try this way. Oh, bless
I know your game.
Trying to put us off. I mean, you can see the videos of that on both our Instagrams, and there's some beautiful. The scenery behind is beautiful. When we were trying to find the stone, it was kind of an hour and a half in the middle of nowhere, just in the middle of the Scottish Highlands. So yeah, I mean, we both managed to get that one up, which was, like I say, I probably left a little bit of my soul behind. And I don't mind that. It was an achievement, because we had to, like you say, we had to work at it. It was a good hour. We figured it out and did what we had to do. From there, where did we go? Well, where was that? I think after there we had to go and buy me some duct tape to tape my wrists up, because I was bleeding a little bit and scraped my arms to pieces.
Then we went to it was the Menzies after that, wasn't it?
Oh, we went to the Menzies. You can tell. No, come on. You can tell the story with the Menzies. You've got you do a good accent.
Me, I'm not.
You remember what he said when he comes?
We weren't aware that you had to book in at Castle Menzies. So when we just showed up, the owner of the castle came out after was waiting around, and he wasn't a happy bunny that we just shown up, because it's not a bring and buy sale.
Which is what he said.
Yeah. And they then proceeded to have a go at us for just showing up, and then gave us 3 attempts to lift it up. Which, when you've got 3 people rocking up who all are business owners, me, you, Scott doing the arm wrestling, and then some grown-up guys start shouting at us like we're kids, it's a bit like, So,
didn't quite, yeah.
Took the wind out of our sails a bit, and just thought, my heart wasn't in that one.
No, he told us about this way. What was it? You roll it up your thigh.
Yeah, roll it onto your knee. And roll it onto your lap, across your gullies, and then onto your shoulder.
which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, did I tell you I tried that when I got back with the lighter stones? And
Yeah, you did.
I just couldn't get it.
No, I mean this was
Up your knee, across your goalies, onto your shoulder.
This was a portly fella who told us he used to pick it up and move it around his castle just for fun, but he unfortunately had a bad back now, so he couldn't lift it anymore, which was awfully convenient, I thought. But
that one doesn't count. That didn't count because it took the wind out of us. Like it was a hard stone. I would like to go back and do it, and obviously book in with them.
Yeah, so that one was 115 kilo, but it was like an atlas stone that had been polished. So the problem with that was it was really smooth and the grass was a bit dewy, so it was wet and you just couldn't get a good hold on it at all.
It did make me feel better though. The guy who we saw at the
Dalwhinnie stone,
about how he said that was the hardest stone he's ever done, and he was a big fella. So I thought,
yeah, he was a typical big Scottish lad,
Quaker Oats looking kind of guy.
Yeah, if you don't know who the Quaker Oats guy is, just pop that one into Google. It's a porridge brand here in the UK. So after that, I think was it the Saddling Mare? I think it was the Saddling Mare, which was the 94 kilo lift up onto another lift and lay onto where you lift up onto the rock.
Yeah, I couldn't remember whether we did the Saddling Mare or the Dalwhinnie.
No, the Dalwhinnie was the first day. The next day, with the first stone the next day. So the Saddling Mare was just. You did a little bit of reading about that. Was that the one where you kind of had to put it on and stop it rolling back down?
Yeah, to stay stationary on top of it. And it was just I can't remember the word. As if you're putting the saddle on the mare. So the big stone is called the mare, as if you're saddling the horse. And it's just got to stay stationary. But
yeah,
the only thing that was a good one. The only thing I was a bit gutted with was the fact that all the videos I've watched of it was in this beautiful forest. And then
been cut down.
We rocked that. Just the whole place had been deforested. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that is a bit sad to see.
But again, it's they make it, it's what the country does.
But it meant all the cars driving past could see me and you.
And beepers.
Could see me and you in our kilts
in the middle of deforested wasteland, just picking up stones, looking like a pair.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was one thing that was quite surprising about the Highlands was the deforestation. Which I mean, I guess it seemed it's a big.
It's a bad industry.
Yeah, it is. And they do sort of replace them and regrow. But it's always there's something just quite sad about seeing it, even though you know that they are going to be replanted and regrown, and it is part of kind of industry. Just seeing the trees chopped down, it's just a bit like, ugh, don't like it. So after there, we bunked up for the night.
Yeah,
Scott decided he wanted to arm wrestle half of the pub. So Scott, the fellow we went with, runs Liverpool Arm Wrestling Club, and he's passionate about arm wrestling. I mean, as passionate a fellow about arm wrestling as I've ever known. And in the pub, after a few beers, he decided he wanted to ask a few fellas if they wanted to arm wrestle.
Yeah, so, which for a bunch of English dudes in the middle of like the Scottish Highlands. It could have gone very wrong.
It could have done. It could have done. But he taught them the way. He was gentle with them.
He was. And then we said, "Let's get out of here, Scott, because we're going to get filled in."
Yeah. So on the way back, we did a little bit of stargazing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, that was pretty beautiful because of where we were. There was very, very little. Little light pollution at all. I mean, it's probably one of the darkest places I've ever been in my life, especially like outside. When we were walking down the lane back to the hotel, it was just pitch black beyond belief, and you could just see sort of everything. So there was a little bit of us just standing there, and maybe in like a little cuddle.
Well, it was just bizarre how like we were completely in the middle of nowhere, and it was like, wow, we might be the only people for miles. That was the feeling.
That's it.
And then kids walks past.
Yeah.
Just,
Get out drinking you. Yeah, no clouds in the UK and in Scotland, which is even rarer, but the weather was beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
So yeah, the weather was really nice. And yeah, I mean, like for me, I quite like just stopping for a minute and looking up and kind of pondering life.
Yeah.
So it was nice. So yeah, the next day we did the Dalwhinnie Stone first, which is outside of the cafe. And I mean, without sounding like, giant wusses, even though you're only lifting 4 stones in the day, it does take a hell of a lot out of you. And I know when I woke up the first thing the next day, I was kind of like, oh, fuck. I've got to go try and pick some more stones up. My body was sore, my forearms were sore.
But it's the 0 to 100 thing that you're doing, where we were driving. Each stone was like, what, 40 minutes to an hour separate?
Yeah. I think that played a huge part was the driving. Because you
go 0, you're getting out of the car, and then we tried our best to do like a bit of a warm up. I brought some dumbbells and stuff, but you can't warm up for picking up an unknown fucking heavy rock. So your body would go from 0 to 100, back down, then you do a drive, and your body's doing that. So it's just constantly going, like just shocking your nervous system over and over. So the second day, it was just like I'd been hit by a bus, and it was just like, like you said. And then I'm just after the second day, would have thought, thank fuck we're wearing underwear because in front of the cafe with all the kids and everyone running around outside.
I'm glad we because imagine if that was the first stone we did and we hadn't realised the logistical nightmare of the kilt, and there's all those old ladies drinking their cups of coffee and their chai lattes, and then they just get an eye full of little Lloyd.
One of us is going to register at some point.
Yeah, I think he probably could have. So, I mean, for me, that was one of the best stones to lift. It was I felt like it had a nice shape, nice size. It was a good one to warm up with, I think, on the first, the first stone, especially feeling tired.
But I think that was the first stone that injured me as well, because it crushed my finger underneath on all the pebbles, and then we were thinking,
yeah,
that's why we should have brought a mat.
That's why on all the videos, everybody brings a mat.
Yeah, because we just thought originally, pussies, what do you need a mat for? And then you realise,
Yeah, I know. Just thinking then, imagine anybody who didn't kind of know, especially some of the stones that were out in the middle of nowhere, where people didn't know what these stones were, and to some people they probably just thought they're just a rock that sat there. And then 3 English lads turn up in a pickup, do a few squats, get a dumbbell out the back, do a few bicep curls, pick this rock up in kilts, and then put it down and go, fuck it, let's jump in the pickup and just drive off. I mean, to anybody that was like watching, just be like, huh? What?
Well, it was a lot of people in the area. When you'd ask them, do you know where this stone is? They were just like, no, I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah, that's the thing to remember with these stones is that even though they are historic stones, not many people know that they exist or know where they are. They're not kind of on land, or they're not signposted. You get given some sort of GPS coordinates, and you've got to find it out and figure out which stone it is by looking at.
It's like a weird kind of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. You look. I mean, some of these stones are around other, like there's a bunch of other big rocks around them as well, and you're kind of like, which one is it? So you got to look. You got to look at the picture and try and match up like the angle of the stone. It's a bit weird.
I think that the Dalwhinnie stone was the only one, wasn't it, that was actually had any kind of indication it was a historic stone, because that had a sign above it. But even though there was a little plaque on it, and there was like, it was in the middle of a car park, and it was like sitting there presented, there was still people just sitting on it or resting their coffee on it or
But yeah, that was it. Like there was a
rubbish on it, and it's like,
yeah,
stone.
it's yeah, it was quite weird to see. I don't know what I expected when we set off, but even the ones that were in the middle of nowhere, I thought that there would be some sort of recognition for what they were. I thought there would be like a little plaque or
Like
something.
a brown signpost to say historic stone or something like that.
Yeah, but they want to keep those disrespectful people away that don't pick them up right.
Those, what the fuck was the word I got called? Sassenach.
Yeah, someone called you a Sassenach, which is a derogatory term for an Englishman. That's what the Scotsman used to call the English.
But to be fair, that wasn't because of the stones. That was because of my fucking disrespect towards Scottish whiskey.
Yeah, no respect. Disrespect to whiskey in general, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted it all in the same glass. It's like, I'm not asked. Just put it in any glass. Put it in the same glass.
You can take the lad out of Liverpool, but you can't take Liverpool out of the lad. So, I mean, yeah, after the Dalwhinnie, we went to... Which one was it? It was the one by the railway bridge.
The Stone of Heroes.
Stone of Heroes. That's the one that we couldn't find, and Scott decided to go knocking on people's houses. He's a chatty cather. He likes to go and speak to people.
But that was the most unusual one, because it was literally just, you're on a road and then you take like a little dirt road off and there's a tree and there's a stone under it, and it's just the most kind of advertised thing ever, where like you just pull up, and it was where we were like, you could just pick this up and put this in the back of the pickup. Yeah.
So I mean, some of the other ones, even though they were out in the middle of nowhere and there were no signs for them, they still had like maybe a little stone like,
yeah, some kind of like appreciation for it, like a little plot, like a little ledge or
something they sat on. Yeah, this one was just like, it was just rolled to the side. So that one, yeah, we all managed to get that one fairly successfully, and yeah, other than that being the only stone where we got to play some music out of the pickup,
yeah,
I think it was just pretty, an ordinary one. And then on to the two stones at the farm. Again, these two stones were just sat on somebody's farmland, and
as he's mowing his grass.
Yeah, he's mowing his grass, and it was, three English lads turn up in a pickup and say, "Do you mind if we just try to pick these stones up there in your garden?" Which, I mean, they must be used to it. They had some people from two girls come from they say New Zealand or Australia. So, these stones, people come from all around, so they obviously know they're there, but again, they're just kind of sat next to the driveway, these two big stones, and it's just go try and lift it.
But again, he kind of appreciated us being there and be like, yeah, brilliant, pick them up, I'll take pictures of you. Everyone who kind of knew they were there appreciated it.
Yeah.
Even the Dalwhinnie stone where the cafe was like, yeah, pick them up, go for it. There's only one stone where the person didn't appreciate it, and I'm not going to let that go.
the Castle Menzies. that guy has never picked it up.
Yeah.
He was just, yeah.
But we'll talk about it. It didn't happen.
No, we'll go back and complete it one day.
In the night.
That's it, yeah. So we both lifted the smaller one of the stones, the heavier one. To be honest, for me, like, my body was shut down. That one was that 130? That one 132.
It was 130 something. I don't know, 130, like 236, something like that. But that was the first one where the rest of them was like a struggle, but it was like, right, we can do this. Figure it out. That was the first one where I picked the lighter one up. What was the lighter one? Was it 90? Or?
No, it was 100. So it was still 100.
Oh, was it?
So it was still 100 kilos. It's still a heavy stone.
The second one, my body just didn't have it. The central nervous system had been that fucked over for the past few days, and I was quite happy to say, I'll leave that.
Yeah, and I mean, we weren't exactly looking after our bodies either. We were eating what we wanted. We were
fucking meatballs from a service station.
Yeah, well, we were drinking quite a lot on a night, so it wasn't, we weren't giving ourselves the best opportunity for
Typical fucking fitness experts.
We weren't giving ourselves the best chance of recovery, were we?
Drinking whiskey and eating fucking service station meatballs.
I mean, talking about food, we have to touch on the Indian restaurant that we went to. Because this Indian restaurant has one of the funniest moments of my entire life, just for the absolute cheek of the restaurant. So, I mean, to put a little bit of context, we were hungry, fancied, a nice Indian food. It tends to be quite filling, you get a lot of it. So we found a little restaurant, went in, sat down, and you could tell from the off that there was going to be a little bit of wait for the food. They were busy. We didn't mind too much. The first insane thing that happened was that Lloyd ordered a banana curry.
Kashmiri curry.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's a curry with banana in it, which is psychotic to me. But Lloyd defends that apparently bananas are a herb.
Banana's a herb, and a herb goes well in curry, so a banana curry is perfect. Telling you, make any curry, slice a banana in it, let the banana simmer in the juice, and it diffuses the flavour, and it's
Yeah, I mean,
but you've got to let it cook in the fucking juice.
Maybe, yeah. So I mean, we were there for a little bit. We had a starters. We were sat having a few beers. Maybe an hour had gone by, and we were kind of like, where's his food? We were sat by the door, and a little kid comes in and speaks to the owner. And then,
first the owner said it'll be 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, so it'll be 10 minutes. A little kid comes in and speaks to the owner, and then rushes out of the restaurant. 5 minutes go by. The kid comes back in and puts a banana on the counter. So we all kind of like look at each other and go, I wonder if that's the banana for Lloyd's curry. So, we sit there watching it, three lads watching a banana on a counter, which sounds like a euphemism for something. but the owner sort of comes out of the back, picks the banana up, and like, if your food comes out within like the next minute or so, we know that that's what it's for. And lo and behold, out he comes with his little delivery cart, gives you
it's sliced banana on top like it's a fucking bran flake cereal.
So yeah, I mean, it was safe to say that the banana hadn't marinated in the sauce.
Because it was still cold banana on top of a hot fucking chicken korma or whatever it was.
I mean, for me, that just points out the fact that they don't sell many banana curries.
No.
But it was just the brazen fact of the kid just left it on top of the counter for like everybody to see. And then when we asked him, we were like, that banana that was there 2 minutes ago, is that the one that you cooked it, put in the curry? No.
No, but it was the fact that Scott kicked off because his chicken was like bright pink.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm not happy. This chicken is raw, and me mate's curry, you've just sliced the banana and threw it in. He went, oh, no, the banana is for the flavour.
He didn't know that we had a banana curry connoisseur with us.
I was like, bitch, please. This is my first banana curry.
So, yeah. I mean, thankfully, Scott pulled through. He didn't end up having the shits. He was all right. He didn't have food poisoning.
Well, he made us taste it all first, didn't he? Yeah. We all had it. And then he cut it open and it was all raw. I was like, fucking hell, Scott.
I forgot about that. I was like, yeah, try a bit of this. Does it look pink?
Does it taste funny to you? Does a bit actually, Scott, yeah.
One it.
Open it, fucking bleeding.
One in all in the Three Musketeers. Yeah, I mean, I forgot about that. Just the fact he was like, yeah, try it first.
Let me cut it open after you've all eaten it. It's pink, this, lads.
Yeah, I mean, after that, we went back to the hotel and drank a lot of whiskey.
Well, first of all, they said, we'll give you £5 off the bill.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
Scott was like, I'm not being funny, but I've got to drive home tomorrow. And if I've got the shits, that's a 9-hour drive.
So they did end up giving him the meal, well, his meal for free. So I mean, yeah, it was all right. It wasn't the best food I've ever had. It was a good experience, though.
Was that when we stayed in the hotel with the whiskey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy that knew about the whiskey. He also knew how to sell the whiskey and not tell you the price of the whiskey.
Still haven't looked at my bank account.
Oh, I've kind of looked ish, but I did notice that some of the single malts were like it was like $7.50 each. And obviously when you're buying for like three of you, it soon adds up.
No wonder they didn't want to shut.
No,
We'll stay open for you. We'll stay open.
so yeah, I think whiskey with me anyway is one of those that you keep. I was fine. I didn't feel drunk until I got up and went upstairs, and then I was like, kind of pissed.
I don't know. I can't remember.
No, that's because you fell straight asleep.
Yeah.
You were out cold as I was contemplating ordering a takeaway to the middle of nowhere. Laid in bed, like furiously looking on Just Eat, which is the UK version of, I think it's Postmates in the USA.
Post what?
Postmates. I think it's their version of Just Eat. Yeah, so I was trying to frantically order some sort of food. That's what I do when I drink alcohol. I turn into a very hungry boy.
I can't even remember. To be honest with
No,
you.
you were well and truly snoring.
Well, sorry, but some of us, drove like fucking 10 hours.
I know. So on to the last stone. You can. I mean that had to be the most picturesque of all of them. Just of the setting amongst these old ruins, like a ruined church.
It was probably that. And the weather was fucking glorious, and there was no one around, so it was like, right, spend a while here and just do what we do.
Yeah. No, that was a fun one. I mean, the stone we all lifted fairly uneventfully. Well, apart from ripping a load of skin off
ripping your leg off,
yeah, ripping a load of sskin off my knee, which still hasn't fully healed. But I'm not going to complain about it anymore than I already have. Yeah. So I mean, the stone was next to what looked like a stone grave almost. So naturally, we all just jumped and laid in this stone grave for a photo.
Well, no. First of all, we looked up because
we laid in it first, took photos, and then went
first because we said about you getting all the shit for lifting that other stone up. We thought, right, let's have a look first before we start disrespecting anything. So then I looked it up, and it was like, all right, this isn't an actual coffin. This is where they used to put criminals or anti-religious people, so we can get in it and we can take pictures because there's no one dead in it.
I'm not gonna lie,
had you already done it when I was out at the car?
No, we all took photos in it and went, okay, we're not going to share these pictures with anyone because it might be a little bit disrespectful. And then we looked at what it was and went, oh, no,
the other way around.
It's okay. No, we definitely took the photos first because I was like, oh, it's a bit weird thinking there was a dead person that used to lay in there. And then we were like, well, but where's the body?
I can't remember which one it was.
I'm pretty sure we laid
it. For my own reputation, I'm going to say we checked first.
Yeah, let's edit this bit. They turned out okay in the end. So
just for criminals, rapists, and people who didn't like religion.
Yeah. So, do you want to say what the stone was for? What they used to do?
So the stone was that the 99 key?
I think so. 99 or 101.
So if you were if you'd some way broken the law, be it through anything from actual bodily harm to a religious crime, then it was the equivalent to the stocks. You'd be put in the tombstone. I can't get my words out. In the coffin, there'd be a concrete slab that go over you, and then they'd put the putting stone on top of it, and you'd stay. But the only bit that you could see was your head would be exposed, so people could defecate, spit, do whatever they wanted to your head, and unless you could get that coffin off you couldn't do nothing.
I mean, It's such a terrifying thought.
But it wasn't even
You couldn't lift your arms, could you?
So you couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, no, you were well and truly there. I'd like to know how long people got left in there, because even though your head's out and you can it's not too bad that you can see around, but it must be it must be horrible, especially with seeing people can just throw stuff at you or whatever else, whatever else they want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd fancy lying there as someone took a shit on me. I think I'd rather the stocks.
Yeah, I think I would rather the stocks. There's something about laying on your back that I kind of, but that is, just laying on your back, kind of just like looking up in the air and not being able to move. That's a little bit worse than being in the stocks, because at least your body's free. It's not, even though you can't move effectively, it's the same thing, but nobody can shit on your head, I guess. Which is the ultimate one for me. That's the one that I really want to avoid.
From a metaphor for life. At least no one can shit on my head.
I mean, yeah, that's a good rule to live your life by.
Again, I didn't even think about it, but if you're in the stocks, at least you can shake off.
Yeah, that's true.
You're lying face down and someone's fucking killed one off on your forehead.
It's
there for the duration.
It's there until something else takes its place. So after that, we went for a nice little swim.
Oh yeah,
which was
the what was it called? The
bridge.
I can't remember what the name of the bridge was.
No, but it was a lovely place. Apparently, teenagers like to jump off the bridge and tombstone into the water beneath, which is fucking terrifying if you ask me.
I can't think of anything worse than doing that.
So yeah, we
just the wimps and just
we walked around. I mean, it looked the pictures that we posted looked quite nice of us in the water, but you kind of lose the effect of us getting in the water, because the water underneath the water was all very, very slippery pebbles. So to get in,
massive stones that were like ice.
Yeah, so to get into the water, we had to very elegantly crawl in our pants, like just on your hands and knees. But the water was a little bit too cold. You didn't want to put all of your body in, so we had to like just crawl like some sort of cavemen or creatures just been born from. It reminded me the Guinea,
like the Fat Boy Slim video.
Is it the Fat Boy Slim video? Yeah, where it's kind of like man and like emerging and evolving as it comes out of the water. And we were one of the early stages, I would say.
But it was literally because we kept joking about it, saying how you've got a habit of smashing your head against rocks.
Yeah.
That would top off the weekend.
It would be a night. No, it would have been a nightmare.
I mean, it would have been good.
No,
it would have been like, typical Dan smashing his head on rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wouldn't. I remember last time, and it wasn't.
Me phone and Sarah like, it's happened again.
She's just like, that's done.
Who else but Dan?
I'd be like, just do the catchphrase, like. No, that's something I definitely don't want to do again.
No.
So I mean,
story of that on any podcast?
I think I've touched on it before. I think I spoke about it at the time. If I haven't, and anybody that's kind of in the chat hasn't heard it, I'm sure Lloyd, you were there, so I'm sure we can run through it.
I was fucking gone.
Well, you were.
I was all over the place.
You were there in body for a little bit, but then your spirit left, and your body had to be escorted.
Fucking Sean with his fucking stupid homemade mead.
Yeah, the homemade mead and the giant horns to drink the homemade mead out of, which is the
down for the demise.
Yeah, it was something I probably want to forget.
No, Oh, you know what? I'd love to remember that night, to be honest with you, because there was so many people I wanted to talk to, but what was that? I had to get carried on by steak oil because it just went zoom. Because I thought this is just going to be a lovely little get together of folk. So I don't need to eat too much. I don't need to prepare.
Did you do you remember telling Sarah that you were like thumb twins? Like
because I had pictures on my phone of me and Sarah's thumbs.
Like Joey off Friends, where he finds his hand twin, and you two are thumb twins. Which,
yeah, that was a mess.
You know, you've got to be a certain level of drunk for that.
Yeah, and then I got my horn back from you, so because I fell, it was like in a mountain, wasn't it? So as we were coming out the cave, because I practically fell down the way to get out, I lost my drinking horn that I got off you, and then Iolo found it, didn't he?
Yeah,
all the way back to me.
Yeah,
that was good.
Was that? It wasn't Valhalla that was after that. It was like your Christmas party, wasn't it? The next day.
Yeah.
Which
was it?
Yeah.
No, it was the Guildfest, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Guildfest? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I've got I had a sore head in more than one way.
Yeah.
Not just a hangover, but 13 stitches.
Yeah. You did get the best war wound.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about the inspiration for this trip.
Trip to Scotland. I mean, it was planned for about a couple of months. It was kind of an amalgamation of a few things why it happened. I mean, I think one night before we recorded our podcast of the Nordic Mythology podcast, I think I was sat up watching Stoneland, and we were sort of texting each other, and I think it was kind of in the middle of lockdown, and we were like, you know, well, when this Corona stuff kind of passes a little bit and we get a little bit of freedom, let's just fuck off to Scotland and try and lift some stones. It was more the stone lifting was nice, but it was more just kind of like a lad's
experience of it.
Yeah, it was more just like getting away from life. Obviously, Lloyd, you run your own gym, so you're working 24/7. You recently have gone full time with the gym, but before that, you were doing 2 jobs. You know, never getting a moment's rest. I obviously run Horsvold and the podcast, so again, just never get any rest. So it was kind of just.
It was just good because, like, not to get too into it, but with like a lot of shit getting on top of me, it was just good for like. I've only ever gone on holidays with lads where it's been like either a piss up abroad or in fucking Amsterdam or something like that. But this was just like 3 lads just driving into the middle of nowhere just to pick up rocks, and there was something really like kind of just fucking not animalistic, but do you know what I mean? It's just like
just natural. It was just natural. Yeah, it was nice. It was like I say, it sounds very weird. I think to people that have never done it, it's kind of like what?
That's it. I've had a lot of people like I don't get it. I don't get it. Why not just pick up stones on the beach? It's like, well, if you don't get it, I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm not going to try and talk you through to it. If you get it, you get it. And that's the thing. You can't explain to someone how good it was for you to drive into the Highlands and just pick up a random rock.
Yeah, and it
sounds weird.
Yeah, it was just hanging out, and like you say, it was that trying to work. You know, it's not just picking up stones; it's puzzle solving. You know, because you have to figure out a way to pick it up, where to grip it. You know, there's many different sides to it where you can roll it, try different ways.
And also, whether you like it or not, you're a part of history now because there's only so many people who've picked that stone up, and it's kind of good to be like, oh yeah, I'm one of them people. I've done that.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit nicer picking up, you know, like a historic manhood stone where people throughout history have gone and lifted this thing to achieve kind of like, you know, their passage into adult life. even though we're fully grown men.
Yeah.
but like it's part of that way, you know.
Now it's
People,
it's on film. I'm definitely a man.
like, well, now finally, we've already got 2 kids, but
yeah, well, they don't count. I picked up a big rock.
so yeah, it's having that attached to it makes it a little bit better than just going down to the beach and picking up like a random stone. So that kind of concludes the stone lifting tour. I don't know if anybody has any questions that they want to just ask in general, ask Lloyd about what he does, or me about anything I do, or to do with the podcast in general. We've got a little bit of time. I'm recording another podcast after this with Mateus, so we'll have to wrap this up shortly. But yeah, we've got a little bit of time if anybody's got any questions. I love that the in the YouTube live chat, somebody says it's a great way to respect the old tradition, which is good. Apart from I got slated for apparently not respecting, which I did. We had, you clean the rocks off of anything kind of like of this chalk that you use, anything that you leave behind.
Like I was saying, how you got so much shit for not respecting his traditions, yet it was funny because it was you that put the stone back in its place and cleaned it all off and got rid of any traces that we'd been there, and then like give it a good pat and like, right, on our way.
Well, that's it. And
then it was like, you don't respect stones, you're scum.
Yeah, I think that especially with the testing stone of Fiana, which was like the second one we said, which was the heaviest one. That took everything out of me to get it up, to lift it to chest height. That drained me. And I guess on the video, kind of like it's very macho, and it's like elation of doing it. But you've got to remember that before that, we were trying for an hour. We would this stone became fucking everything. For that hour, this stone was life almost. Just lifting this one piece of fucking rock off the ground was everything, and figuring out how to do it. So you see this 30-second video of like me getting up to the chest and then I guess just dropping it, and to some people it may look disrespectful, but it was all that time building up to it. It was
respect.
Like my body was drained, and it was just the pure elation of doing it, and it was, but fuck them.
And it was the fact that when we drove away from the police, I don't think any of us said anything because we were all just like,
that's it, yeah.
Like you said, left a piece there, just went away with it, and it was good.
Yeah. So Shelley asked, did anybody did having people watch make you feel uneasy? I think the only one where people watched was the Dalwhinnie one, which was quite funny because I forgot to mention when we first got there and there was a bunch of people watching, and I kind of just went to have like a little feel of it, and yeah, I had like a little feel of the stone. I wasn't planning on lifting it. I was just like trying to take the weight and see how it felt. And one of like the old fellas who were watching it kind of like laughed a little bit. It was like a little snigger. And I kind of heard.
It looked like you just walked up and tried to pick it up and like, oh, it's too heavy.
Yeah.
He was like,
I
seen that.
I had a little laugh, and I wasn't ready to pick it up. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to go back and lift it now. So I just went back and picked up, and I was like, yeah. But that was.
Well, I didn't mind the Dalwhinnie stone where there was people outside watching us. I didn't mind that because like there was a few people who were like, oh, can we take pictures or can we asking us about it? And it was good because it was you're still there to do something, and you explain it to people who don't know what it's about. And like I said, there was people resting the food on it who didn't know that this was a historic stone. So that was good because not to put it in a vain kind of way, but it was like putting on a show here.
Yeah.
Whereas the Castle Menzies stone was a prick just watching us.
Yeah.
Like 3 attempts, you're gone.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
That was the difference. Like the other people were watching because they liked it, whereas he was just very, he didn't like us being there. He didn't want us to do it, and he was, had a different feel. He was just kind of waiting for us to go, and he was almost relishing in the fact of that we didn't feel comfortable. It was annoying.
Well, he might be a thoroughly nice chap.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. So, any last questions before we wrap this up? Did you experience anything during the whole trip that is now influencing your individual trades? I mean, I guess for you, Lloyd, probably.
Did I do anything that's influencing me trade?
Yeah, so I guess did anything that happened up there has it got any influence on kind of like what you do in your life? I guess with maybe
it kind of made me get more into it.
For sure.
Like I've always like my training is always strength and conditioning or strongman kind of training, and it's kind of more gone that way with me strongman training now, where it's like I want to pick up heavier stones.
Yeah,
I want to get better on my atlas stones. I want to go and try and find some stones to bring to the gym. Remember we were talking about how I'd love a Valhalla stone to be able to pick that up. But it's changed a lot of the way I think on how I train, because I want to just basically
be strong
as heavy as I can now. I want to go back to Castle Menzies
and get that. Yeah. No,
I'll stop at him.
For sure, it gives you like a bug, because I'll just be walking through the woods and I'll see a stone. I can't remember where me and Sarah were a couple of days ago, and there was some rocks. I was like, I bet I can fucking pick them up.
Well, that's exactly it. I'll drive past them. I'll be looking at the stones, and like that Moose Lady post where there was the glyph with the stone next to it, and I was more looking at the stone, thinking, I wonder if I could pick that up. Every kind of stone I look at now, it's like, and if I see a stone and there's people around it, I get annoyed because it's like, I just want to pick it up. But I look like a weirdo in the middle of a park, just picking a stone up just to see if I can pick it up. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like I say, it gives you a bug. It's something you want to do a little bit more of, want to try. So yeah, if anyone any last questions, like I say before we wrap this up, I'm recording with Matthias and a fellow called Ethan, who runs the Heathens Against Hate Facebook page. So that's his Facebook page, basically kind of outing all the neo-Nazis.
Is that the one that did it used to be called Thor Against Racism, or is that another one?
I'm not sure. I think there might be more than one. But they're doing good work. It's kind of trying to separate that. So that should be a fun episode. So yeah, let's wrap this up if there isn't any more questions. No, this was fun. Hopefully, people have enjoyed kind of like this different format. It's a little bit lighter than the normal episodes. It's just two people having a laugh.
Are you going to stick with the audio for your Spotify for your normal podcasts, or are you going to try and do more video ones?
We have got the video that we've been putting on Patreon. It's just trying to use stuff to make a little bit of money so we can keep investing back in. I mean, my setup in here has already got so much better from the first video episode. So it's just keep trying to get it better, and keep growing.
When are you going to set up an actual room where, like, say, I could come down and do it face to face with you?
I know that would be good when I get some space. And it's all about, I need to rent a space somewhere. You can probably rent.
Hurry up and get your next
millions
podcast thing going on. So
I know we could have our own side venture, Dan and Lloyd.
Let's do it. Can't think of two more irresponsible people to run a podcast and drink.
I mean, yeah, especially longer episodes. I'm sure there would be some stories coming out if we drank any more. No, hopefully this one will be one that people can watch back as well. It's just giving value back to the patrons. We've had some really good support so far, and it's helped by a lot of stuff just to make it better and make it just easier as well to do. Especially doing one a week. It takes a lot of time. It takes time out of it, organizing it, putting it together. But I think me and Mateus, we both love doing it, and having that routine now, I think it makes it a lot better for people listening. They know on a Thursday that's when it's going to come out. It's not kind of just whenever we decide. So, yeah, I think we charted in the number 60 for history podcasts in the UK. That's where we were today. So that was pretty good. So we're doing all right.
How's Mateus doing?
Good. Yeah, just busy. He's still waiting for all his forgotten the word. It's disappeared in my head. For like his green card, his works visa.
Yeah.
So he's still waiting for all that to tick through. I think it's just been a little bit slow with old lady Rona, but the whole world is, isn't it? So you've just gone back into some sort of like local lockdown.
I don't know what's going on around
Apparently.
here at the moment. They've said that you can't mix bubbles. I still don't know what the fuck a bubble is.
It's insane, isn't it?
You can't go to different households. Everything so far, gyms seem okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm looking at, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I'm not the most social person anyway, so I don't really care about not being able to go out on a piss. As long as the gym is fine, I'm all right. But yeah, we're in stricter rules, curfews at 10 o'clock, and yeah, just shite.
It's like being back in Scotland with the 10 o'clock pub closing.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, that was one thing that surprised me, because you have this stereotype of the Scots loving their beer, and all the pubs close at 10 o'clock, and that's not just because of the lockdown. That's just.
Oh, so is that how I thought that was lockdown rules?
Well, I think that's how it is. I know that like all the shops stop selling at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't be surprised. I thought it was kind of a thing they have.
I don't know.
Perfect. Right, let's wrap this up.
Indeed.
So thank you very much. Thank you for anybody who's watched this, and thank you for anybody who watches this after as well. Lloyd, your Instagram is Valhalla Training Academy. And do you want to give your personal one?
I mean, Jungle Man Lloyd, but there's not really much going on, just me being a dickhead.
It's hard to do both when you try and do two. So yeah, mine, obviously the business is Horns of Odin, and my personal one is D_Farrand1, which I'm still bitter about every time.
Change it.
I know.
Change it. Sounds like I don't know, Dan of Odin.
No, I can't have that.
Yeah.
That makes me sound like a right knob. Right. Thank you very much for everybody who's watched. Thank you. Take care.